Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. Today I'm going to do a little bit of a quote-unquote study with you guys. This is basically to see the average amount of loot across Cruiser Abyss between different types of weather effects, because I found, and other people as well, found that especially T6 exotics, they are giving a very low ISK compared to other filament ties. I've actually also found that T5 exotics, they give about the same as other type of weather effects, and I think that it has a little bit to do with, because the compositions of the loot of many types of weather effects, they differ slightly. They've got different types of loot compositions. Some will give more 0 point, some will give more survey data, but usually they end up giving about the same amount of ISK per run. But the thing is, T6 exotics in particular give a lot less, especially from my own experience. But we're going to see here with this website called the Abyssal Tracker, try to do some averages of loot runs to see how it actually differs from weather effect to weather effect across the tiers. So what we're going to be doing here is going to search, and then we're going to, let's start with T4s. So raging, and we'll start, I don't know about dark. I can't really be bothered so much to do dark, but we'll do it anyway. Because I'm most interested in these types since I don't run Cruiser Dark Abyss, but we'll just do it for the sake of it so we have a little bit of an idea here. And then we'll do cruiser size, so we have all the cruiser sizes filtered here. And then we'll do survived. Okay, so this is all the cruiser runs we can find here. So what I'm going to do here is we see lots of runs here, so lots of runs, and they've got the average ISK we've got here. This is otherwise looking like pretty normal. There's nothing too crazy right here, and there are quite a lot of runs. So what we'll do is we will copy paste all these. In fact, I'll just do like this: Control A, and then I'll go in Excel. Now, I've made some sheets here. We'll just paste this in and then use this option, match destination formatting. So we have all these numbers here. So we've got the average ISK right here. And we'll just keep doing this for the different weather effects. So I'll just go back and do electric. And then Control A. And then I'll copy paste this in to here. No, I don't want to do that. That's going to be all the images here. There we go. And then we'll put there, and then we'll go back, do exotic, Control A, and then we paste it like this, firestorm, paste it like this, there we go, and gamma. Now obviously I could use multiple pages, but that's going to be a lot of pages, but I could actually do that if I wanted it to be more scientific, like clicking on many of these pages and averaging them out. But I'm just going to do one page here. But obviously it would be best to actually have multiple pages, so just keep that in mind. This is a certain amount of sample size, but I think this is still going to give us a good idea of what kind of average loots we're going to get, because there's a lot of runs right here we're getting. Okay, so we've got all our weather effects here. We've got dark, electric, exotic, firestorm, and gamma. So what I'm going to do here is, if we look in the cell with the amount of loot here, we're going to want to average this out. So, but to do this in Excel, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to remove all the space, because it'll not treat it as a single number if there's a space here. So we're going to remove the spaces, and we're going to remove the ISK. So what we can do here is just find and replace the space with nothing. So we just replace all. There we go. We've removed all the spaces. Now we replace the ISK with nothing. So we just replace all the. Doop, there we go. Now we can see that we've got all these numbers right here. So what we can do is, if we want to average these guys all out, we can just go here and then just type in equals average. Then we'll just select all these numbers here. All these numbers here, put a parenthesis, then boop, there we go. So we've got the average here. What we can do here is actually we can just Control C, copy paste this, and then we can just type here, put it in the exact position, just one below the a row of numbers, and just paste it in the FX here. Then it'll do the same thing, average, and then it'll do all these guys here. So we can just we'll check here. See that? It's doing the same thing. Okay, good. So we just copy paste this, put it here. FX, we get 35 million. We go to here, the firestorm needs to have a one less for some reason. Of course, paste this here, and we'll see here if we'll average all these guys. Yes, it's averaging them all out. Good. And then we will go here, paste it as FX, and that's not looking too good here. Yeah, the T4 gammas is not looking that great. See if it's just selected all the right cells. Yep. Okay, good. Now what we can do here is just paste this into our summary over here. This is T4 dark. We'll just copy paste this, put it in as just a value. So we just paste the value. Okay, and we'll just continue doing this for all of them. All right, so there we go. Pasted in all these guys here. I can do the same now for T5. There we go. Got all these guys here. There we go. Now we pasted all these guys in here. We'll do the same thing as before. We'll just need to fix these numbers here so that we can actually use them in the calculation. So just find and replace all, and then space, replace these all. There we go. Average. There we go. Okay, 80 million now from T5 dark. Copy paste this. We paste the FX here. Double check that it's actually got everything. T5 electrical does not look that great, actually. Does not look that great. There we go. Got all these guys in here. Just double check that it's got everything. Yep. 85 million for T5 Firestorm. And 65 million for T5 Gamma. There we go. Okay, we've got all the numbers here. I'm just going to copy paste this into the summary. All the T6 filaments in. Let's replace those the spaces. And then replace the ISK value. The ISK word. There we go. Now we'll just do the average thing again. So 148 million for T6 dark, 151 for T6 electric, 92 million for T6 exotic. As I expected, it's always the case that they're like a lot lower than the other ones. Copy this, paste it here. 148 for the T6 Firestorm, 145 million for T6 Gamma. So there we go. We've got all the loot values here. We can clearly see here exactly how I said in the beginning. T6 exotic is much less than all the other types. All the other types here in T6 seems to be around the same. We've got T6 exotics that's standing out quite a bit. We can also see some interesting things here that T5 electric seems to be quite bad. And the T5 exotic is still a bit less than T5 Firestorm and T5 dark. If we look at the T4s, we can see that T4 gamma is pretty crap as well. But there could be some, there are multiple possible sources of error here. First of all, it could be that, we've not got enough data points here, so that maybe there's a few extremes that are contributing too much to the values not being very similar. But another thing is that I'm thinking specifically here in the T4 gammas. T4 gammas are very easy to run in basic Gilas when it comes to these very basic passive Gilas. And I can imagine what a lot of people would be doing then is that they'd be running them, and then maybe they wouldn't be taking so many extraction caches because they're maybe not so experienced. They're probably just these new players just getting their passive Gilas to try to do some T4 gammas because it's very easy to run them there. But maybe here they're going for more extraction caches, so it could be a possibility. Still, I don't know. There could be multiple reasons, but I think that could be mainly why it's probably new players who are running these guys here. When it comes to here, I'm not sure why the T5 electrics give so little. It's very strange. I thought it's very, very strange, but there's something interesting we see here. So one thing I would have expected actually is that T5 Firestorm would be less than these other ones, because the thing is in T5 Firestorm, there's usually take quite a bit of time to run, as well as gammas, because of the increased amount of HP or hit points on the grid. So the T5 exotics would be quicker, especially the T5 darks as well. They shouldn't be too hard to run because they're T5 darks. They make so that everything moves really fast. It's hard to do a lot of damage. So if there were to be more time spent looting, then I would think it would definitely be in electric or exotic. But we can see here these two are the worst. So it says that there probably is something here. But again, it could also mean that they're noobs who run these and maybe are not going for all the extraction nodes. But still, you can see that there are some significant differences, and especially in the T6, you can see there's a clear sore thumb here with the T6 exotics right here. So a bit strange. I think it's mainly to do that we're not getting as much that we're not getting as much Triglavian survey data, because I find that T6 exotics, they give less Triglavian survey data and more 0 point condensate. I think that's how it is. At least less survey data. And the thing is, survey data is a constant value, and the 0 point condensate goes down, up and down in price. So the thing is, these guys are giving the constant value of survey data. I think these are not giving it as much, so that's why we get these less value here. Because if the 0 point condensate is low, then it would be also affect the value of the loot, but the value of survey data is always going to be the same because it's got NPC buy orders to take it. We can even do some, like, just take into account the filament cost. You can see here, we can just like average this out. So we can see T6 dark is maybe 20 million ISK. Then T6 gamma is about 9 million ISK. T6 firestorm is about 4.3 million ISK. T6 electric is about 43 million ISK. And T6 exotic is about 18 million ISK. I got on my second monitor the prices. Okay, so there we go. We've got all the prices right here. We can see definitely some filaments can cost quite a bit, such as the T6 electrics. All right, let's calculate how much these guys are worth. Then, like average run then price after you take into consideration the filament price. So we'll just take this, minus this. There we go. Boom. Okay, let's continue here. And we'll just delete these ones here. Okay, nice. So we've got average runs here. Maybe even make a graph as well. Let's see if we can make a graph. Okay, so here is then a graph I just made from this data over here. It's quite interesting to see. This is now displaying the ISK after filament average per run right here. So you can see that T4 gamma is absolute trash and T4 firestorm is really great. That's why I love this filament right here. So cheap, and also I just feel like I've been getting a lot of ISK. It could be just, you know, that these data is like there's some extremes in the data, but I've always got the feeling that the T4 Firestorms will give me quite a lot of ISK. And we can even see some interesting things that if you're doing T4 Firestorm, it's almost just worth it to just do that instead of T5 Electric. You can see here the average cost after the filament price is actually really good. And even T5 Exotic, you can see 37, 44 million. And probably T4 Firestorm will take a little bit less time because T5s, you know, they have more NPCs, it'll take longer to kill. Obviously, T5 Dark seems to be pretty interesting. And T5 Firestorm also seems to be very interesting as well. Again, Firestorm always seems to be doing the best, especially because of the cheap filament cost. You can see, however, the T6s seem to be more uniform, close to each other, not as extreme as in the lower filaments. You can see here, the T6 Exotic is just sticking out like a sore thumb. I hope they fix that. I feel like it's a bit unfair for people who want to do T6 exotics, but I guess at the same time, it is a very easy filament to run for healers, especially because you know you're not buffing anything, you're not making shields more HP, you're not making armor more HP. Vespers are very strong drones, and they also they reduce the kinetic resist, and healers they're able to do kinetic resist damage with their missiles and drones, and they'll it's the particular damage type buffed. But when it comes to gamma, you reduce the explosive resistance. The healers are not going to get buffed to explosive missiles, so it's going to be obviously harder to run than a T6 exotic. But that's just a bit of interesting stuff right here. A little bit of a abyss study, so to say. So that's it. I was just a bit curious how to visually see and just get a big summary on the average loot income from different types of filament tiers and also different types of weather effects. It's quite interesting to see. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.